So many systems get attacked. How does that work? In many movies, what they will show you is actually password guessing. So they will try to connect to a certain system, and what you'll see is then the hacker tries to guess the password. So might try to, using some logical reasoning, try to guess the password of the system. So you'll see them trying password one by one. And as you'll quickly see in this process, is that this would be a very tedious process, very slow. And you can imagine that also not very efficient, because you have to manually think, you have to think of the possible passwords, which can be any password, right? Especially these days. So that is password guessing. And what hackers will do instead is password cracking. How does that work? Well, they will use a called word list, which can be based on a dictionary or certain rules. And this word list, they will try all of the passwords in that list automatically. Many of such lists are found online. So for example, we can search for a list, let's say 10,000 most commonly used passwords. You can find it on Wikipedia, for example, and you'll see a lot of possible passwords, which the hacker will then try to use automatically. So instead of typing it manually, we'll try to automatically try all of these passwords for that target user, in this case Ubuntu, gain access. So you can imagine that guessing the password is just gonna take ages. So they will try using password lists, and that process is called password cracking. So in password cracking, you have an automated tool, can be a command line tool, that tries every password one by one inside a password list. Such tools is John the Ripper, another is called Hydra, and you'll see how to use those tools in this course. So to summarize, password guessing is when the attacker or the hacker actually tries to guess the passwords. Now this is extremely time consuming, very frustrating, because it just takes ages to guess the password. And you can imagine that passwords can have any lengths and maybe special characters, and it's just going to take ages and ages to guess a password. At all you succeed. Now password cracking is another technique, different from password guessing. With password guessing you use a word list, which can be, for example, 14 million passwords long. So I have a word list here, qtxt, and if I output that list, you'll see it contains 14 million passwords that an automated tool can try automatically all of these passwords one by one. So that technique is called password cracking. So those are the two common techniques. Now, locally, of course, you can use password cracking, but also online you can use password cracking. So you don't have to use password guessing at all. You can use password cracking for any system, regardless of whether it's online or offline. So this is one of the traditional techniques in hacking. And the idea is, of course, to gain access into a system. So you trying all these passwords one by one, using the password cracking technique, and then once it's done, you have access into the system network. And from there on, of course, you want to try to get more access into the system. Maybe to become administrator or try to get into other accounts. So that's the major difference between cracking and guessing. So password cracking always uses an automated tool. This can be a command line tool that automatically tries those passwords, or it can be a graphical desktop tool that tries automatically passwords. So next we'll take a look at different ways we can create password lists or word lists that such a cracking tool can use.